Hello, class of 2023, and welcome to your senior registration. This is the last time that you'll be choosing your classes while you're here at Grandview High School. This is a very important one as we want to make sure that we have all of your correct credits going into your senior year. Make sure that you have everything you need for graduation, anything you're thinking about with your post-graduation plans, college, careers, whatever that may be for you. But we want to make sure we have everything in line, and we're going to talk about a lot of those things as we go through today. That's the registration process. What we're going to do today is you're going to get some information on how you register, which you've done in the past, and it's very similar to how you've done it in the past. But we're going to give out that information, talk a little bit about how you should communicate with your teachers and parents as you're looking at choosing your classes for next year. And then by February 13th, we'll start finalizing decisions and entering those courses into PowerSchool and finalizing what classes you're going to be choosing and taking as a senior. You should have a transcript in front of you that was handed out by your teacher. We wanted you to have this so you can have a good, clear picture of what credits you have right now at this point, and so you can look at what credits you may still need for graduation and what kind of classes you may need to choose for next year in order to meet those graduation requirements, and just so you have a good idea of where you stand right now going into your senior year. So as you look at this slide here, this has the graduation requirements that you have to have in the Cherry Creek School District. We've reviewed these with you several times throughout your high school career, but we want you to just make sure you're aware of them. And as you have your transcript in front of you, look at any areas that you may be short in, or some areas that you might need to take some extra classes for next year, and keep those things in mind as you choose those classes and go through the selection process. Next to each course title of every class that you have taken, there is a number. In the top left-hand side of your transcript, there's a key that will tell you what each one of those numbers mean. So for example, if you look at your schedule, say from your freshman year, you can see that any class that you took that has a 6 or a 9 next to it, those will fit for practical and fine arts. Anything with a 7 next to it goes for PE or health. All right, so if you know that you still need 1.5 credits of practical and fine arts, you can find out if you have enough by looking at the codes and next to each title, the title of each one of those classes. And if there's a 6, it counts for practical and fine arts. You do need 1.5 credits there. The other area that trips up a lot of people going into their senior year is PE. Make sure that you have 3 classes that have a 7 next to it, not including health, that will fit for your PE credits. Remember, if you can waive half a credit of your PE by playing a sport or marching band here at Grandview. Some of you will need to fill out a a PE waiver for that half credit being waived. And if you need to do that, please come see your counselor. But you do have to have 1.5 credits of PE, 1.5 credits of practical and fine arts. As you look through it, you can see and make sure that you know anything with a 1 next to it is English, 2 social studies, 3 math, 4 science, and so forth. So as you look at your transcript, get an idea of where you stand, where you're short in credits, and what kind of credits you may still need to choose as you go into your senior year. Now we're going to try to give you a couple of minutes right here and kind of pause the presentation and give you a little time to look at your transcript for a minute and make sure you understand what you need and what you have. And if something does not look right to you, or something that maybe is missing from your transcript, please come see your counselor, talk to us about it, and we can see if we can get it fixed or at least track down if there really is something wrong. So take a couple of minutes, look at your transcript, see if there's any areas that you're short in, and keep those things in mind as you're kind of planning for your course selection. So as you're registering and thinking about your classes for next year, keep a couple things in mind. We want you to get the classes that you really want to take, but keep in mind that as a senior, you will have kind of first choice, that you'll get kind of highest priority to make sure that we try to get you into the classes you want. So choose classes that you really want to take. The course guide is on Grandview's website, and there will be a link through your Schoology. Read the course descriptions, prerequisites, make sure you understand what you're signing up for. Over the next couple weeks, you're going to talk with your core teachers about what courses they recommend you to take. Remember, you're going to choose some electives, but we also are going to have to choose some alternate electives. But you want to make sure that you choose your alternate electives wisely because you may get those. So make sure your alternates are classes that you don't mind taking. Think about a balance as you're choosing your classes. If you've never taken an AP class, maybe don't all of a sudden sign up for 4 APs as a senior. If you're ready to take 4 or 5 AP classes, great. I want you to do that. But make sure you have a balance. Keep in mind what other things you have going on. Are you involved heavily in some extracurricular activities, or are you working? You have a good balance between school, your activities, other things going on. But we want you to challenge yourself to the best that you can do it. We just want you to keep in mind the whole picture and kind of what you are preparing yourself for. Take as hard a schedule as you can handle. Do as many AP and advanced classes as you can, but just make sure that you keep in mind the big picture and how that affects you overall. We're not going to be able to do schedule changes, and we try to tell you that. You can't just come in and say, well, I've changed my mind. I don't want this. I want to try to get this other class. So as a senior, you have to choose a minimum of 5.5 credits. That would be 6 classes first semester and 5 classes during the second semester, and that's the bare minimum. You do have to have 4 core classes, so even if you have finished at the end of this year your math or science requirements, you still have to take 4 core classes. And then after you're done choosing your classes, as you're putting it into PowerSchool, you will have to choose 3 alternate electives. Some of you may have all core classes and you don't really have any electives because you've finished them off and you've taken care of it, but you still have to choose those 3 alternates. If you're just choosing cores, you'll probably get exactly what it is you're looking for, but you do have to submit those 3 alternate electives, or else it will not let you submit your course selection in PowerSchool. So keep that in mind as you go through it. As I said earlier, you can find the course registration guide online, either through our website or from a link through Schoology, but it will kind of give you a rundown of the flow chart and how these classes come after each other based on what class you're taking this year as a junior, what class you would be the next logical choice for you as a senior. If you are currently in Survey of American Lit, you're going to have some options for next year. In Senior English, something that is quite different from what you guys have done in the past, is typically broken down into 2 semester classes. You have to choose 1 writing course. You have to take 1 literature class, and there's quite a few options that you can choose from. If you are currently in AP Lang or Survey of American Lit and you want to move on to AP, there's some choices there. You can go on to AP Lit or go into some concurrent enrollment classes. Social Studies, you have some options as well. This year you took U.S. History, which was required. If you're in regular U.S. History, you have some choices for next year as far as some semester-long courses. Everybody needs at least a semester of government for graduation requirements. Some of you have taken that this year as a junior. Most of you will take that next year during your senior year. So a semester of government and then a semester of something else. But you need to choose 2 social studies classes, government and something else. If you're currently in AP US History, you can have some options of some AP government classes. Keep in mind that if you decide next year you want to take an AP Psychology class, that is a year-long class, and you will still have to take government if you have not done so yet. Just as in English and Social Studies, there are some options for you in math. If you're in the Algebra 2 class, you may be going on to discrete math and senior math applications. Those are each semester-long classes, so you're going to choose both of those. If you're in CP Algebra 2, you may move on to Pre-Calculus, which is a year-long class next year. Then there are some concurrent enrollment options that you have to choose from, again, that your teachers will help to go over with you. If you're currently in Pre-Calculus or maybe Honors Pre-Calc, there are some AP classes that would be the fit for you going forward next year. Again, have a conversation with your teacher. They'll be the best resource to help you guys figure out which class might be the best fit for you. Science, there are a number of options for you as well. If you are currently in Earth Science, you may go on to some of the elective science classes. You have those same options maybe if you're in chemistry, or you can move on to physics, or maybe even honors anatomy and physiology. And then there are also a number of AP science options that you can choose from, especially if you're in honors chemistry or physics, or you're already in an AP science course.
There are so many benefits to continue taking a world language class here at Grandview, even as a senior. Many colleges require 2 to 3 years of the same world language. We definitely recommend you to continue taking world language classes here at Grandview. Just a reminder, you need to have 1.5 credits of practical fine arts to graduate. Some colleges are specific and require 2 semesters, 1 year of a fine art, and it's typically a performing or visual art. You must have 1.5 credits of PE to graduate. This does not include health. Health is counted separately. There are a variety of electives that are available only for our upperclassmen. We have various CCIC classes. If you are interested in attending the CCIC next year, you need to look at the different pathways that are available to you. The CCIC application is open. You can scan now to apply. The deadline to apply is March 4th. If you want more information about the different pathways and what they entail, we highly recommend that you go to the website, the CCIC website. There's a ton of information. There's videos. You can also sign up. They have a Sign Up Genius if you would like to do a question and answer session with someone from the CCIC. There are a couple of CTE options that are available that are not at the CCIC, our cosmetology program and then executive internship. Those are both programs that are not housed at the CCIC, but you will still need to complete the CCIC application. If you are not quite sure what you want to take, or if you're still thinking about what you want to do after high school, we have several plans of study listed in the registration guide. These offer ideas of classes that you could take that would help lead to the area that you're interested in and help you sort of start planning for your future about what you would like to do and give you an idea if this is something that you actually would really like to do. So here's our registration timeline. Today you received this information in advisory. This PowerPoint will be posted on Schoology. February 2nd through February 13th is time for you to research, review the course guide, communicate with your teachers, talk with your parents, and attend help sessions with counselors in the Commons to get your questions answered. No later than February 13th, you need to finalize this plan. You need to enter your course selection into PowerSchool. And then we will be in your English classes February 14th and 15th to go over these with you and make sure you did it correctly so that we can finalize your registration for senior year. If you need help, counselors will be holding help sessions on February 7th and 8th during all lunches in the lower commons. Feel free to stop by our table and ask any question. So here's just a final reminder, as a senior, you have to register for a minimum of 5.5 credits. 4 of those classes must be core credits. We also need you to put in 3 alternate electives just in case your first choice electives are not available.